This will be interesting. Myriam Cabirou out of sorts in qualifying yesterday, but one of the most successful elite women's downhill riders still racing.
Myriam carrying good speed there. She's opening up all these turns, running the wider lines, which is helping her to carry a good average speed.
0.7 of a second back though for Myriam Cabirou so far.
She goes tighter over that one.
Yeah, just stays over the right-hand side. There seemed to work for her. Cabirou, 1.2 seconds though, has turned that deficit around. Really, really strong sector for Cabirou. The Canyon Collective clicking beautifully late in the season as well, Nico.
Yeah, the whole team's been doing really well. Fabian Burrell watching from home this weekend. He'll be cheering his riders on. Yeah,
it's looking good so far here for Cabirou. What's the next split going to tell us? 63.9 kilometers an hour through the speed trap. Here is that really, really tricky wood section over the right-hand side of the piste. These turns absolutely blowing apart, Nico.
Yeah, it's just so dry and dusty. It's just complete powder out here in this wood section.
Just footing back down there. The back wheel of the canyon. Getting at the turn 2.2 seconds faster than that time of Lou Ferguson. So Cabirou.
Yeah, she did a great job making up time in that technical section. I think Ferguson hit the bottom really well. So if Cabirou can match it, I think that's where she's going to need to be to contend with the girls that are still yet to come.
2.2 seconds now.
Yeah, she looks really smooth down here.
Another 0.04 of a second headed her way. Myriam Cabirou crosses the line and goes fastest by 2.3 seconds ahead of Lou Ferguson. Balanche will be retiring after next weekend. The Swiss national champion, former UCI Downhill World Champion, former UCI Downhill World Cup overall points winner. She's faster here, 0.6 of a second faster than Cabirou. Balanche has a decent margin to work with.
She's a rider too that can use her experience to her advantage, and she doesn't have a weakness. Cammie's pretty good everywhere, so I think she'll be consistent through this whole track.
Yeah, she mentioned earlier on after the last practice session this morning that she was struggling slightly on the big jumps here lower down the course. Just the wind was just moving her around slightly, but looks really good for that rock section now, Balanche. 0.07 of a second back now into the red for Balanche. She heads out onto the piste.
She'll be strong down this motorway.
She has won before, of course, in the US snowshoe 2022. She's 0.5 second faster now, so it's going back and forth here for Balanche. It has to look classic Camille Balanche the whole way down, hasn't it? She's having a good go here, Nico. Inside that tree there, that looked like a big move. Pays off for her though. Great shots from the live drone as ever.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see this next split because she did have to check up to get into it, but it gave her a better exit out of the woods.
Set herself up really nice and wide for that right-hander. She's faster still by 0.3 of a second now. So she's lost a couple of tenths, but that looked like it worked for her in the woods. There's absolutely nothing in it here for Camille Balanche. Is she about to go into the hot seat at her penultimate UCI Downhill World Cup? The Swiss rider takes flight and crosses the line. Camille Balanche goes into the hot seat by 0.3 of a second. Look at Nicole, just cool, calm, collected, ready to drop.
Yeah, the World Cup season really hasn't come together the way she wanted to. She did great at the World Championships, and then unfortunately crashed on the quali day at the last round and learned how to. It seemed like she had that momentum going back her way.
The speed is still there. She just needs to get a clean run on it to hook it up.
Well, it really is, and that's probably what's giving her that motivation. She can see the way she's riding the bike. She can see the split times. She needs to put it together in a race run.
She's a second faster at the first split than that time of Camille Balanche. Pom-Pom having a go at this one.
And that's in 30 seconds of track too, so that's a really impressive gap that she's put in.
414 days since this woman's last UCI Downhill World Cup. She'd like to reset that counter to 0 today. As As we await to see what the second split is going to tell us. Commensal Muckhoff watching on down at the bottom.
Nicely to the outside line there. Carries a good exit out of the rocks.
Yeah. Interviewed her earlier this year in the Commensal HQ and Andorra, and 2.4 seconds faster. The second split for Myriam Nicole now.
That's a huge margin.
Well, we said that we saw the performance of the year from Camille Balanche earlier today. Are we going to see the performance of the year from Myriam Nicole? .1 kilometers an hour through the speed trap. Myriam Nicole looking to get back to winning ways here in the USA. This section, you've just got to be so patient and so delicate through this really, really steep, dusty lined rock section.
Yeah, it looked like she executed it just the way she needed to.
Exits with good speed as well. 1.6 seconds fastest now. The light's still very much burning bright green for Myriam Nicole. It's currently Balanche from Cabirou, from Seagrave, from Gale, from Scarsy, but Myriam Nicole looks like she's about to knock them all down a peg here.
Opts for that left lining. It's a really nice drive out of the woods.
Exit speed, absolutely crucial here. It always is in the UCI Downhill World Cup, but counts for absolutely everything.
Really carries you a long way.
1.8 seconds, so she's found more time in there, Nico. 2 more tenths of a second. This is great to see Myriam Nicole riding back to her best here in the USA. And she'll hear the finish line. Myriam Nicole, is she about to go into the hot seat with only 2 riders left at the top of the hill? Here comes Myriam Nicole. She goes fastest by 9/10 of a second ahead of Camille Balanche. Myriam Nicole back to her best in the USA. Sacha Earnest, I mean, just as we talked about with Nicole, it's not been straightforward for this young woman this season.
No, she's had a few races where she's been out with injury, but the past 2 rounds, she really came on strong when she needed to.
What could she make of this torturous top section?
Really nicely through there. She did a good job of absorbing all those big humps and getting a good exit speed out of that wood section.
It's looking good, it's looking aggressive. What is the split time going to tell us? 1.3 seconds back on Nicole, so Nicole was superb up top, Nico.
Yeah, she had a big gap on all the riders, so I think she's in a good spot, and she's right where she needs to be.
Sacha Earnest separated her AC joint back in Ligier. She is closing in on the top 10 in the overall, though, which will be a great result for her, given the travail she's been through this season.
Be interesting to see what the next split says after going inside both of those.
Yeah, spins out her gears on the way down here. 61.6 kilometers an hour now for Sacha Earnest from New Zealand.
Yesterday, when the track's still developing, Sacha was able to be closer to the front end. It'll be interesting to see where she stacks up today.
2.2 seconds back, so she's found a chunk of time in there. So it's a real yo-yo of a run from Sacha Earnest. You just get the feeling just needs a nice clean season, injury-free, doesn't she? Oh, skims that pad on the way through. 1.4 seconds now.
Wow, she's really brought it back.
This could be absolutely stellar if she can find a bit more. Sacha Earnest within sight of the finish line. Brian watching on from Track Factory Racing, roaring her on. Can Sacha Earnest take the hot seat away from Myriam Nicole? Goes second fastest by 300ths off a second. Where did she find that, Nico?
She was so strong on the bottom.
With this run, she will win the UCI Downhill World Cup overall. 140 beats per minute. She just wants to get back to winning UCI Downhill World Cups. UCI Downhill World Championship stripes retained earlier this year. But it's been a long, long wait for Valentina Höll's fans to be able to celebrate a UCI Downhill World Cup win, but let's see what the first split tells us. Look really, really strong out of the gate there, Nico.
Yeah, really solid through that section, mistake-free and on point.
474 days since her last UCI World Cup win. She's had all the travail. She's 3/10 of a second faster at the first split. Oh, got forced onto the stem there.
Didn't seem to phase her much at all, just pedaled out of that one.
She's had all the difficulties, all the drama off track with the YT mob.
through this section in particular, she looked like she was a league ahead of the other girls in practice. Just the speed she carried into that rough straightaway was amazing.
Myriam Nicole leads the way from Sacha Earnest and from Camille Balanche.
Myriam had a big gap when she left the wood section here, so if Valley can be on point with that, I think she'll be able to keep it in check to the finish.
1.3 seconds at the second split for Valentina Höll. And just worth pointing out as well, the time that leads the way here, Myriam Nicole, it's still a second outside of the fastest time set by Valentina Höll yesterday. So she does have the bandwidth. Lands straight on the pedals, really nicely done. There's Gunnar.
We saw Myriam open up a gap at the top, and then some of the other girls able to put in time to her at the bottom. So Valley being ahead already, I think she can even extend this further.
178 beats per minute on the Whoop Live for Valentina Höll.
Did a great job of managing that technical, awkward, slow section there.
What's the next split going to tell us? 1.7 seconds faster, Nico. She's going faster.
Yeah, the run seems to be building for her. She goes inside here across the grass, foot out. Wow.
Oh, Valentina Höll, this is the sort of form that saw her take her fourth set of UCI downhill world champ stripes.
She's well on her way to doing it now. You can see that light of her electronic suspension locked out here for this last section.
Yeah, huge advantage down low. 1.9 seconds at the fourth sector. So Valentina Höll looking hungry, looking like she wants this one. We all know that she does. Is it wait for Valentina Höll's UCI Downhill World Cup drought about to end? Is this going to lock up the overall title? It is. 2.8 seconds in the end ahead of Myriam Nicole. Valentina Höll take a bow. Finally back to winning ways. Takes the UCI Downhill World Championships title alongside the UCI Downhill World Cup overall. 2.8 seconds faster at the end of the day from Myriam Nicole. Sacha Earnest just by a whisker